Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and on my noggin, I have the Sonos Ace headphones. This is my quick video review. Let's get into it. So in design terms, Sonos has really kept it very, very simple. What I've got here is a set of the black headphones. They also come in white. I would honestly favor or suggest the black simply because white headphones over time tend to kind of show grub and muck a little bit more. But controls on these are very, very simple. So on the left cup, you have the power and pairing button plus USB-C for power and connecting up a USB-C to 3.5mm cable. On the right-hand side, you've got a single button for activating or deactivating active noise control or awareness modes, plus the content key, which is a combination volume slider, up or down, as well as a button that does things like play, pause, and track skipping, and the TV swap function, which I'll get into in a minute. The case that's supplied is likewise fairly simple, fairly basic, just unzips like so. It is a little bit rough on the zip, as you can kind of see here. Actually, it was already unzipped. That's how prepared I am. But it's just got a very simple encasing piece here, magnetically attached holder for the cables, which only just sort of fit in there, and then the headphones go in around like so. Becomes a nice kind of relatively flat travel pack. And to give that a little bit of a size comparison, here I've got a slightly older pair of Sony XM3 headphones, so slightly smaller case if you're concerned about the traveling size. And then, of course, the ubiquitous AirPods Max in their weird little shaped holder thing, which I've never been a huge fan of. But again, slightly different shape and size. But it gives you an idea of what's there. That's basically it for the box. The box itself is nicely recyclable, which I do approve of. Otherwise, that's what you're getting. It all works. But of course, the other thing is it all fits. The really key part here, and the thing that I actually do appreciate about the design, is that it's comfortable. I have serious problems with this. It's the size of my skull, the fact that I don't have hair, take your pick. But what I find is that very, very quickly, and the AirPods are a really good example of this, the pressure of having a band on my head and these pushing into my ears becomes unbearable, becomes genuinely uncomfortable. I'm no longer enjoyably listening to whatever it is I wanted to listen to. Instead, I'm just fighting that pressure and ultimately taking them off because they're uncomfortable. And yes, I've reached a point with these where they have started to become comfortable, but it's been after multiple hours of wearing. Whereas, for example, with the AirPods Max, I'd be maybe lucky to get to an hour before I really started to feel that pressure. These have been very well designed, very nicely built to be comfortable. I should point out also that the actual cups themselves are replaceable, so those just pull off and magnetically attach and snap in and out at will as well. All very nice. The design is all very, very good. What about connectivity? So if you wanted to, the Ace headphones could actually be really easy to pair because literally just hit the power button, power them up, get them into pairing mode, pair them with whatever Bluetooth device you want, and you're away. They will work. Most of the functions, I'll get into that shortly, will also function. So active noise cancelling will work, for example. They'll have the same battery life, all that good stuff. All very simple, very easily managed for sure. But I hear you cry. These are a Sonos product. Surely they work within the Sonos ecosystem with the Sonos app, as much as people aren't very happy with that right now. Well, the answer is yes and no. And that needs some explanation. So at launch, the Sonos Ace headphones will pair and work with just about anything because they're Bluetooth, but they will also be seen by the iOS, so that's the iPhone version of the Sonos app only. If you've got an Android phone, they will pair with that Android phone just fine, but the Sonos app will not see them, does not have any idea what they're doing or where they're going to be. Sonos says that they're going to bring that to Android in time, but it's not clear when that might be. And without that, you can't access features like setting up the TV swapping or equalization. None of that is available to you. And obviously, any firmware upgrades wouldn't be available to you either. So there are some significant limits for Android users, although you do get aptX lossless, which of course you don't get on an iPhone through the Sonos Ace if that's important to you. But what about actual performance? Well, this is the hardest part, of course, of any headphone review on YouTube because I can't really show you what the audio is like. I can tell you what it's like, and I can tell you, as you might expect at a Sonos, it's really very, very good as long as what you're putting into it is really very, very good. So I've tested these with a variety of audio sources from quite high quality lossless stuff through to significantly more compromised or basic audio. And the general representation is really very, very good. Through the test tracks that I've used, I've been very pleased, very happy with how it does spatial audio and lossless. Stuff sounds good, and you should expect that at this price point. Absolutely no questions. Equally, active noise cancelling, very good, very, very effective. I've had family members talking to me where I genuinely wasn't aware of it because I've had these headphones on. Now, that's maybe not great for my family dynamic, but it shows that they're doing a really good job of filtering out audio when you don't want it. And in aware mode, it does a great job of picking voices up as well. So Sonos has done a very, very good sound engineering job with these headphones, which is obviously critical to them being worth their $699 asking price. What about voice quality for calls and the like? Well, this is me on the Sonos Ace. It's not the clearest you'll ever hear. You'll be heard, but I certainly wouldn't want to use it for long-term audio. Then there's the TV audio swap feature, and this has its limitations. So at launch, they'll only work with the higher end Sonos Arc soundbar. And I do have one of those, and I tried to work out, well, how can I try to show how well that works? And look, here's the solution that I've hit upon, which hopefully won't have the YouTube copyright strike gods strike me down with furious vengeance. Okay, so this is a slightly ridiculous example, but I have a SNES game going here through the Arc soundbar there. That's what you can actually hear. But I have the Arc headphones on my head, and if I hold down the button, they transfer to the Arc headphones that I'm wearing. And if I bring myself a little bit closer, you might just be able to hear that coming through. It actually works quite well. It's quite seamless once you've got it set up, even though this is a slightly ludicrous example of the form. So yeah, look, once that's set up, and again, you can only do that at launch through an iPhone because Android will not see these. Once that's set up, it works quite flawlessly. You can do it through the app. I was just doing it there through the content key, and the switching was really seamless. It does have great potential there, especially because some soundbars and TVs really don't like pairing up Bluetooth headphones as well to take over that audio. This works quite seamlessly if you're in that Sonos system. But there's a catch. You see, for years now, Sonos has been selling the idea that it's not just, oh, here's one speaker. It's a system. People who bought Sonos bought it because your one speaker would talk to your five speaker, would talk to your Arc. It was a whole system and you could shuffle things around. So if you wanted the same audio through your entire house, you had it. If you wanted different things playing on different speakers, you had it. If you wanted to follow yourself around the house by switching from speaker to speaker, you could do that. And you might think, hey, well, these are Sonos Ace headphones. Surely I can do that too. Nope, not at all. It's the big thing these don't do, and that's play well with other non-soundbar devices at all. They just simply aren't part of that ecosystem. Now, I sort of get why this is so, because the headphones are Bluetooth, and Bluetooth does not use a whole lot of power, whereas the Wi-Fi style connections that Sonos uses between its speakers would use a lot of power. It would seriously impact battery life. Still, it feels weird. It feels like an absolute missing feature because I can totally see situations where I might go, well, I don't necessarily want that music blasting throughout the entire house the entire time, but maybe I just want to put these on my headphones and listen and keep going exactly where I was. And you just can't do that. The best you'd be able to do with an iPhone would be to say, right, stop the music on that Sonos speaker and I'll find it and start it playing once I've paired this to my iPhone, and then maybe catch up. It's nowhere near as flawless. It's nowhere near as seamless. Frankly, it's just nowhere near as Sonos. It is one of those features, and I don't know whether the hardware's within these to do this. I suspect it's not, but it's one of those features I'd love to add, for them to add as a feature down the track. We'll just have to wait and see, of course. Now, on the battery front, I have to be honest up front here that I've only had these for a little bit under a week. I've not had a lot of time to put them through lots of battery testing cycles to see where they average in terms of battery life. Sonos's claims are for up to 30 hours of battery life, but that's with active noise cancelling disabled. And who buys active noise cancelling headphones to not use active noise cancelling? Nobody, that's who. Realistically, you're going to want to use ANC, and that drops the battery life down to around a claimed 24 hours. Now, that does track with my early testing that does suggest, yeah, look, 24 hours should be achievable. I do have a written review, which I will update with more figures as I get them, as I test these more. But that certainly seems achievable. And look, that's a nice figure. It compares well against everything else that you can get at this kind of price point, as long as it holds true, of course. So should you buy the Sonos Ace headphones? Look, these do feel like they play best to the Sonos faithful while not playing well with the Sonos faithful. It's odd. I can't fault the audio output. They really do sound great. They really are very, very comfortable. They absolutely would be my go-to pair for comfort right now. However, the fact that they don't talk to other Sonos system products, they only talk to the Arc at launch, they don't talk to Android through the app right now, really does give me pause for thought. They're a little bit of a harder sell than Sonos's first pair and apparently most requested products ever should have been, I feel. And that's a pity. Maybe these needed a little bit longer baking. Maybe the software needed a little bit more time to improve before they released them. These could be great headphones down the track. However, as always, I never recommend people buy any tech product on what could be or what might be promised. You absolutely should only buy based on what they can do for you when you buy them. So these are good headphones, great headphones in many respects, but they do need some work. Anyway, that's my take on the Sonos Ace headphones. Got any thoughts, anything you'd like to know? Hit me up in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.